Hi, and welcome back to Purple Collar Life. Today's video, first trail ride on the XT250 this summer. I just pulled the XT250 out of the building, started right up. I keep it on a battery tender all winter long. It's ready to go. We're gonna go on a short little trail ride today through the woods, see if our trails are clear. My guess is they're probably not. We had a lot of windstorms throughout the winter time, and I'm guessing it'll be a difficult task to get where we want to go today. But great, beautiful sunny day out to just enjoy being in the woods. Just take a quick ride here on the XT250. For those of you watching this on Memorial Day, we will remember the reason for this day and the sacrifice that our veterans gave us in order to have the freedoms that we have today. Always make sure you wear the proper gear. I got my helmet on, I've got some sunglasses, I'm gonna put some gloves on. We'll go on a quick ride here. So this is mostly just going to be a trail ride video of me riding through the woods. But I will point out some key landmarks to those of you who are family and friends and recognize the area. This is traveling up the driveway to the homestead to my parents' house. So a lot of the paths that connect through the woods actually start behind my parents' house. They were paths that my Uncle Don kept open with the Ford 8N tractor that you've seen on the channel many times. And with me riding our old Honda ATC 185 three-wheeler. So this path goes up over the hill behind my parents' house. As you exit this little pathway into a small field, this is what we call the bull pasture. At one point this was a pasture field. Make a steep left here. I've mentioned many times that our property is very swampy, very wet. You can see as you climb the hill here, that's not the case. It just happens that where we built our house is in a low spot. There are portions of family land here that are not that wet, swampy area that you've seen in the videos around our house. Made my way back out to a gas right-of-way, and for some reason the gas right-of-way, several sections of it travel through wet areas. So you'll see here I start coming up to some areas that are pretty slick and wet. I had the XT250 all nice and clean. I still don't have my outside spigot fixed yet, so I was debating here, do I want to even go through this mud? But I did want to take a nice trail ride tonight, so I ended up trying the best I could to stay on the high side of any wet areas, but you'll see here at the end of the video we got pretty muddy. So here we are on the gas right away, climbing the hill. This is the area where the intersection happens. The gas right away crosses the electric right away. You can see I'm traveling about 15 miles an hour in most places on this trail ride, except for where I have to slow down for mud spots. You always want to be aware, especially the first time traveling through the woods. You don't know where there could be trees across. A bear could jump out in front of you. We have been seeing the bear here lately, so just ride cautiously through the woods. There's always deer, porcupines I've seen before, skunks. We're actually going to come up to a section here where you'll hear the noise of an animal. I'm not exactly sure what it was. Perhaps a small deer, but I'm not sure. So if any of you know what the noise of that was, leave a comment down below in the comments what that animal noise was that we heard while we were riding. So you can see I'm traveling downhill here. We're still in that gas right of way. Traveling down the hill, and as you would expect at the bottom of the valley, it is pretty wet and muddy. I'm trying to pick my path here. Least muddy area. This bike does have the original street and trail tires on it. I know if I would switch that back tire to like a Dunlop D606, it still would be a road legal tire, but would give me much better traction in areas like this where there's just mud. There's a spot where my back wheel is stuck pretty good, so I decided to get off and help the bike through this hole that I've managed to get the back wheel stuck in. One of the nice things about the XT250 is how lightweight it is, so it's easy to push through areas that are tough. It's easy to balance. Come on. Here you can see we're traveling through a small pathway that goes between the gas right away and that electric right away we saw earlier. There's a stick or a branch stuck in the way here. This is one of those times where you put the kickstand down, hop off, move those branches and sticks out of the way so that they don't scrape your body or your bike.
If you look ahead of me on the left here, there's a big rock overlooking the entire sled riding hill. They call this Audrey's Rock. This is where my Aunt Audrey used to hunt from. On top of this rock, she could see down through the whole valley. Here we're at the top of the sled riding hill, so I'm going to ride down the sled riding hill. We've had many hours of fun sled riding on this hill in the winter time. It is a long ride from top to bottom. It's a long walk back up, but thanks to the invention of the tractors and the four-wheelers, a lot of times we're able to hitch a ride back up with someone riding a machine back to the top of the hill. Here we're riding across what we call the front field. This is pasture or hay field area that my parents used to use to make hay back when we had horses. once we get to about the middle of it here, you've seen this in a previous video about how long does it take to mow 5 acres with a zero-turn mower. This is the 5 acres that Dad mows and keeps mowed in front of their house.
Well, that was a bit muddier than I had expected. We just had a rainfall last night, pretty heavy, and it got the ground saturated. So wasn't expecting it to be that muddy, but I should have been expecting it where we live and the weather we got last night. Still a fun ride through the woods, just a little sketchy in some areas where it gets slick with that water on top of all the clay we have here in Northwest Pennsylvania. Hopefully you enjoyed this short ride along video on the XT250. We've got a couple other videos planned for this machine. We've got some upkeep to do to it this spring, so we'll be doing that. So stay tuned if you're into the XT250 videos. Those videos will be coming out shortly. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. We'll see you again the next time.
Yes.